Hey y'all, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Bodice Tipplers,
the podcast where we read all the books we used to steal off our grandmother's nightstands.
and then we drink about it.
In this episode of Bodice Tipplers, we read Nora Roberts' Gabriel's Angels. Trigger warnings for this book. This book is built on a web of lies. This is supposed to be a Christmas book, and it's not a Christmas book. But there are mentions of past abuse, and nothing happens contemporarily in the book, but there are mentions of abuse from the past. And there's also the threat of stealing babies. No babies are stolen. They're threatened to be stolen. So if those are things that you might want to skip, just, join us for our next episode, which will be a Hanukkah-themed episode. And it's an actual Hanukkah book.
Yes.
All right, everybody, hello.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
How are you?
Sarah and I are feeling amazing. Sarah and I went to a fun old person party last night, and
Old people can hold their liquor, y'all.
oh my gosh, so
Or if they can't, then nobody was holding their liquor.
no, so I think that kind of goes, you can kind of tell how we're feeling. That goes directly into what are we drinking. Right now, we are not drinking anything.
I'm drinking tea.
Yeah, I think I've got a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I've got a number one Darjeeling Orthodox.
Nice, fancy.
Yes. From
Also,
Upton Tea.
I'm just trying to maintain the cover of being an actual human being this holiday season.
Yeah.
And not be a person that's pounding alcohol every single day.
Oh.
So,
That's what normal people
yeah.
don't.
I went for a run today.
shit,
I'm trying to maintain. I feel like if you can maintain, it's not like that whole beginning in January where you're like, I'm a garbage person. So. Yes, that is what we were doing. It's a Bodice Tippler's miracle that the booze hounds are taking a break.
It's a Bodice Tippler's hangover special. I don't have a hangover. I do have a scraped knee somehow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened.
Well, I can't ask my husband because he probably thinks I remember it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to double down and be like, oh yeah, it was fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were at, the same party, and after we parted ways, I went and got Chinese food, where I think I might have showed my ass a little bit in the Chinese restaurant waiting for the food. But
I think that everybody in that Chinese restaurant has probably seen your ass before.
but I came back and watched Free Solo, that documentary, and then I was fine.
Yeah.
So at least I didn't have a mystery fall. So.
Yeah, who would do that? That sounds like a trash bag person thing.
There was
to
this
do.
little old man at the party yesterday that I was so concerned with because he was 4'5".
Oh, Clyde, yeah.
And I was just
His name's Clyde.
terrified, a gust of wind was just gonna
Yes.
pull him away.
He's very sweet.
And I was just watching him oh God, this old man. So yeah, we're feeling and sounding, and I can assure you, looking our best today.
Yes.
But our love for you guys and our passion for the content brings us here today.
Right. Because if we waited any longer, we were going to forget both of these books.
And that's true, too.
Yes.
That's really the point of it.
So, we do have some Patreon shout-outs.
Woo.
We have one from Nina, who just wants us to say happy holiday wishes to us and to our listeners.
Oh, thank you, Nina.
Thank you, Nina. You could be as cool as Nina. You could give us money on a monthly basis. You would do that by going to patreon.com/bodicetipplers or by going to our website, bodicetipplers.com, and you will see a prominent link there.
I mean, come on, y'all. As little as $1 a month. As little as $1 a month.
If you give us $5, you get a cool sticker.
Yeah, who doesn't love a sticker?
Yeah, and so you could be cool like Nina. What else are we reading or listening to right now? God, we're both just crazy busy.
I am reading again, my bank statement going further and further into the red because of the holidays. So,
yeah, we've been we're 20 years late to the party, but the one Star Trek series I had never seen is Deep Space Nine, so we're into season 3 right now. And as soon as we started watching it, all the actors started dropping dead.
So you guys cursed it. That's
yeah, we would like to apologize to everybody who worked on Deep Space Nine. Yeah, go get your checkups, go to the dentist, stay healthy, because we're in it to win it, so we're doing our best.
Oh gosh. So, all right, do you like books with impossibly beautiful Ice Queen women? Snowed in tropes.
I do like snowed in tropes.
And then giant paintings of yourself over your fireplace.
See, okay, I don't know why you wouldn't like that.
I feel like this would be a thing that I normally would like, but I don't know. I feel like it would be
It feels very on brand for you.
I know. I don't know. I just find it pretentious. Like,
well, because we were talking about, there's this thing, if you're not from the South, when you go to a Southern wedding, for some reason, as if you would be confused about who's getting married, and like which cousin they are, there's a giant portrait of the bride taken at her bridal photo session there at the reception. So, I don't know, I don't feel like our family does a lot of Southern things, but we definitely had a giant picture of me at our wedding reception, which is all fine when it goes to, like, your mom's house.
But now it's coming to you.
Yeah, eventually, you're going to have a giant picture of yourself. So, hope you stay married.
I mean, I feel like I would like one if it was, like, you know, some, like, Warhol-style nonsense. Or if, like, I was in, you know, like, if it was just totally OTT, you know, like...
Well, our sheriff over in Richland County, where I'm from, I crossed the river and slum it to come to Courtney's.
Yes.
But our sheriff, he has a giant portrait of himself in his office, and it's him with a horse.
And, you know, like, before people start thinking, like, I'm not the one who's had pumpkins stolen off my porch, like... So, start talking
we
about...
have a lot of frat dudes
talking slumming it, so...
Across the river.
All right, so we read Nora Roberts' Gabriel's Angel.
It's not a fucking Christmas book.
It's not a fucking Christmas book.
I found it in Novelist. I used my librarian tools and did a deep cut advanced search looking for books about Christmas that were in like the genre romance between these certain years, and this one came right up. And then the copy that's on the shelf has a little snow globe and it has like holly in it. There's no fucking Christmas in this.
No. So Nora Roberts is basically, if you've ever read a romance novel, you know who the hell Nora Roberts is. She is one of the giants in the industry. And
she writes under like 6 names.
Yeah,
too.
She's also known as, let me get to her names, Nora Roberts, J.D. Robb, Jill March, and Sarah Hardesty. She is in her 60s. She's from Maryland. She considers herself very, Irish American.
Doesn't she own a town? I think she owns a town.
I'm sure she does. She's also one of the big proponents about, like, she is really fighting a lot of the, plagiarism and things. So
yeah, she got
whenever somebody, like some, up and coming author especially, like, fights somebody else about, like, plagiarism, she sends them swords.
That's amazing.
And so, it's kind of like this thing, if you get a sword from Nora Roberts, like...
that you've arrived.
Yeah. So, again, I feel like we don't really... Like, she's kind of on par with Danielle Steele.
Yeah.
Where Danielle Steele is a little bit more, like, soapy writing. Like, Nora Roberts is more kind of the traditional romance.
And
like,
she's done a lot of subgenres. Like,
yeah.
I'd never actually read a Nora Roberts, but I've read several of her J.D. Robb in-depth books, which are kind of, they're almost like the Janet Ivanovich of, not slightly sci-fi. They are sci-fi, it's just that they're romances.
Yeah.
They're mystery romances first.
And
they're romantic suspense sci-fi.
She's one of the first, like, she helped found the Romance Writers of America. She's won 21 Rita Awards. And she was one of the early ones to, like, start getting her books adapted into novels. Like, Lifetime did a bunch of hers, like Angels Fall, Montana Sky, Blue Smoke, Carolina Moon. And they did, like, a whole thing where, like, every year they do a collection of hers. So she really is kind of, like, the giant in the industry.
She's huge. She can buy and sell every one of us here. Yeah. But yeah, I'd never read her branded as her, and I feel like I need to read a different one.
Yeah.
Well, and this is a silhouette. This is a silhouette Intimate Moments. It is number 300. It has an award of excellence, but it does not say awarded by whom to what. And I think it must be like the Silhouette House style because, I suddenly forgot. Carved in Stone, that Kathleen Eagle book, also had the sex was really hot above the waist, and then it, like, fuzzed out. So that may actually be the like, what silhouettes
As someone who's
do.
read a lot of Nora Roberts, like, this is not indicative of her, like, regular books. So
Yeah, so we'll have to read another one. But let me read you the back cover. On the run. No one was going to take her child away from her. Pregnant and alone, Laura Malone had been on the move for months. Finding herself snowbound with an angry, impatient Gabriel Bradley was not part of her plans. Gabe wanted to be alone. He'd come to the isolated cabin to think, to work, and to heal. But when a woman crashed into his life, literally, he felt obliged to help. Laura was everything a man could ever want and all that he desired. She trusted him, but Gabe was hard put to be an angel when Laura felt like heaven in his arms.
But again, so, and in the other copy that we have, like, again, Book of Lies. Dear reader, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Silhouette is proud to offer both new and loyal readers Gabriel's Angel, a special holiday treat from New York Times bestselling author Nora Roberts. This gift hardcover edition features a classic love story about a man who finds hope and love in the arms of a woman who holds Christmas in her heart all year round. There is no Christmas in this book. Like, it's like in October.
I think they're just reaching, and they really want you to buy that for your mom for Christmas when you don't know what else to buy your mom for Christmas.
It's so upsetting. Book of Lies.
Absolutely, Book of Lies.
All right, so in 1989, that is when this book was published. Let me get to our list of other bestsellers. We have The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, A Time to Kill by John Grisham, Number the Stars, Louis Lowery, Like Water for Chocolate. Let's see, who else do we have?
These are pretty solid books.
Julie Garwood's The Bride. And again, it's like I'm not seeing...
There has to be a Danielle Steele.
I know,
We've never looked at one of these and there hasn't been a Danielle Steele.
A Knight in Shining Armor. By our girl Jude Devereaux.
We were just talking about that one.
And then, let's see.
The Dark Half you mentioned.
The Dark Half. And Carrie and Cuthbert by Dan Simmons. And A Virtuous Woman by Kay Gibbons. But no, I'm not seeing a Danielle Steele.
Because, all of these always have a Stephen King and a Danielle Steele.
Maybe she took a break. Maybe she took the year off. Who knows? Like,
right.
But yeah, those were some of the books that were...
So that gives you a little bit of context for this. So, this book... it has actually, the beginning made me think that this book was going to be great because it started off with like a really great beginning.
Yeah.
Like he's driving and it's snowing. He's like, man, I shouldn't have left this late. He had gone down like from his cabin to the town to stock up because they knew the blizzard's coming. And he's slaloming across the road.
a mile away, you know.
And then he sees another car coming and kapow. They kind of sideswipe each other. She almost goes over the cliff.
It's so slow, but it was like a slow...
Because they're both trying to drive responsibly.
Yeah, and like nobody's really like, it was like one of those where it's like, yeah, the car T-bones the other one, but not with really any kind of impact.
Right. But like she's all up in
harrowing.
she's tied up in the guardrail, but he's driving a 4-wheel drive vehicle and she's not. She's got a rental, and so he goes to check on her, and he's like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna have to take her back to my house because we're gonna die out here if we don't."
Well,
and
at first he's like super grumpy, and then she like stands up and she's like heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, so
crap."
Yeah, that's when he's like, I gotta take her back to my cabin.
Yeah. So I did not think about it beforehand. It turns out that I really do like the guess we're snowed in trope. You know?
Yes, there's the snowed in trope. Like they're just watching. It was like 3 or 4 feet of snow in this like Colorado
She should
cabin.
know not to go driving in the snow because if you're in a sitcom and you're driving when you're pregnant in the snow, you're gonna have a baby in a barn.
It's always the way it happens.
And don't get in any elevators either.
So she walks in and sees all these paintings and realizes that he is the famous Gabriel Bradley.
Which is funny because how many living artists can you name? Go ahead. Go ahead. Thomas Kincaid.
I guess he's
Damien
dead.
Hirst. Is he dead?
Thomas Kincaid is dead, I thought.
I know he peed on a statue of Winnie the Pooh in Las Vegas. I don't know if that's the same thing as being dead.
I'll have to look it up, but I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead.
So yeah, I guess I could. Is Damien Hirst dead?
We're just naming dead artists.
So yeah, all the good ones are dead anyway, right?
But I feel like he's supposed to be again like this 80s like I don't even know who it would be the contemporary. Yeah, he died in 2012.
Oh, well, sorry. Okay.
I like that his period is Impressionism.
Really? I mean, I guess that's technically true.
Thomas Kincaid. So yeah, he's like some super famous artist, think like sexy soap opera artist type,
Yeah.
He's very sexy.
Yes. And you can tell because he's also very antisocial.
Yes.
Same thing, right? On the cover, he's one of those, like,
he looks like Ted McGinley.
Yeah. One of these, one of those, light, medium brown-haired dudes from the time period that they're using product in their hair, although they pretend like they're all, rough and ready dudes.
Yeah. He looks exactly like Ted McGinley.
And she's this incredibly beautiful ex-model.
Yeah.
She's the tall, the Christy Brinkley type.
Willowy. She's very willowy. Like, you hear, like, she's got big sad eyes, and so he's obviously, like, beguiled with her from the jump. But
neither of them will tell each other what their problems are.
No.
Because he's sad. I was kind of hoping he kept on, like, talking about his interior dialogue was all about, except for Michael. You know, somebody named Michael has just died, and I was like, let it be his gay lover.
I know.
But it was not. It was his brother.
So he's beguiled with her. She's super cagey about, like, why she's there, and, you know, he's like, hey, you're really pregnant. Like, what you doing out here?
And she keeps all like, no, I have a month and a half to go. Like, girl, this is when I ended up almost dying on an operating table. Yeah. When I had a month and a half to go. So she's very blasé about this.
She's super blasé about it. But he makes her a deal because he can tell, like, she's obviously running from something, and he's like, I want to paint you. I will pay you money. So there's a lot of just, like, sitting and, like, looking at things and yearning. This book has, like, the beginning of this book is, like, YA levels of yearning happening.
Which I was into, honestly. I mean, you know, as long as we're eventually gonna get somewhere with it,
there's just, like, a lot of yearning.
They all act like pregnant people can't have sex in these books.
Well, I think it was just, like, she's kind of this Madonna figure.
But they'll always say, well, there's no chance of, like, well, you can't get more pregnant.
But, so, eventually, so a police officer randomly shows up.
Well, he sees the car.
Yeah, and so Gabriel lies for Laura, and that's when she realizes that she can trust him, so she tells him everything, and, like, you find out that she had been in foster homes as a child, and when she was a teenager, she was working in a mall, and this man discovered her.
I assumed that she was those girls who used to walk up and just spritz perfume in her face.
Yeah, so this man gives her a card, and at first she's like, ooh, no, you gross. And then this other person, like, this is one of those things where people inexplicably know people. This other, like, her coworker was like, don't you know who that is? That's famous photographer Jeffrey Wright. And she calls him and finds out that he's really a photographer, and he takes her under his wing and, like, is going to make her basically the Kate Moss.
And everybody assumes that he's, like, got his hand in her pants, but he actually doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No hand pants. No pants.
This is, like, the only trustworthy adult she's ever met, evidently.
So while under, like, Jeffrey Wright's tutelage, they go to Paris, and she meets this guy, Tony Eagleton, and they have this, like, whirlwind romance in Paris, because it's Paris.
Of the Boston Eagletons.
The Boston Eagletons. Yes. They get married, like, super quick, and pretty much as soon as they get married, he starts, like, sleeping around and then starts abusing her.
Yeah, and he does, like, he punches her in the face. I mean,
yeah, and it is, like, we'll get to, like, this part later, like, because, like, she kind of sloughs over the abuse, and Gabe, I don't think really, like, understands it until the end, like, the level of abuse that we're talking about. So she tells him all this, and that she gets pregnant.
And he's dead, by the way.
Yeah, Tony died, like, in a drunk driving accident.
So she had actually already started to file for divorce.
Yes.
But Tony's mother convinced her, okay, like, you need to play the part of the grieving wife, and then, you know, we'll work something out. But then after that, she's like, yeah, we're gonna take your baby.
We're stealing your baby.
Yeah. And, like, here's $10,000, leave me the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then she runs.
Yeah, so she runs, she flees with the baby, obviously with the baby because the baby's attached to her.
Yeah. She's the baby's not been born yet.
Like, she's in Dallas for a while, and then, like, PIs almost have her, so this is why she's in Colorado.
Well, the great thing is that she does say at one point that when she was going to all these cities, like, she's been sneaking around the country, she's been going to therapy, like,
good for
therapy
her.
settings.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, good on you.
So we find out, like, after she's told this story to Gabe, he's like, well, there's a solution, because he's like, they're not going to take your baby. She's like, you don't understand, you're rich, you're not poor. And I get it, like, you know, like, she's obviously grown up in foster homes, like, she is terrified of these people. He's like, well, the solution is you marry me, I'm rich as shit, like, we'll fight.
We have lawyers on retainer.
Yeah. So, like, he's from the San Francisco Bradleys, which I guess are, like, the only thing that can combat
it's like an East Coast West Coast thing, I guess.
So it's like Biggie versus Tupac. So,
and each clan does have a badass bitch matriarch. So yeah, I guess they can square off against each other.
I mean, I'm Team Biggie in the whole East Coast West Coast thing. Like, after Tupac hooked up with Suge Knight, it was all over. Anyway, That's we'll do a podcast special on Courtney breaking down the East Coast West Coast rivalry.
I hope somebody's written a romance novel about that.
Oh, love it so much. So
Well, she has the baby.
She has the...
well, no, they get married. So they bring this justice of the peace, and they are this cute little old couple.
Yeah, so he goes on a supply run, and he brings the justice of the peace and his wife. They get married real quick.
It's this marriage of convenience trope, which is actually not my favorite.
I kind of like it. I always like the, like, convenience things. Or like,
I guess I don't mind the pretending you're my girlfriend one.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. I don't like the baby ones, honestly. Secret baby, or, like, we had a baby, now we fall in love.
I'm not a big baby. No. Obviously, like, baby ones for me are always kind of like, ugh. So, and especially, like, where you have instances of, like, putting babies in, like, any kind of situated peril. Mm-hmm. I'm always like, all right, you know, it's like, this is obviously by someone whose baby has never really been in peril. But, so they get married, and then he's out chopping wood or something. No, he had taken the couple back. And...
of course, it's one of those situations where she didn't think it was worth mentioning that she's been having contractions for like a day.
I didn't tell you because she's like, oh, it was back labor. I was like, I had back labor. And like, dude, there's no like questioning, like, it's not just, oh, my back hurts. Like, it is the most excruciating, like, I want you to fucking shoot me in the face pain. Like, so there's not like a, whoops, missed it. So
yeah.
She essentially like is in labor for 4 hours and then just blurp.
She shits that baby out.
She pops that baby out.
I mean, people do. People absolutely do. I've never understood why, like, I think it's newsworthy to say that a lady had a baby in an elevator or in a car or something. You're like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Right. That woman wasn't in peril. That woman was living her best fucking life.
She just, like, had
just turn around, we'll go home, it's fine.
I knew a girl that had one, like, she had her second son so quickly, like, that she was still at home. Like, the baby just like...
Well, guess what? Now you don't have to go. It's great.
Slid out like a slip and slide.
Yes.
Just like, phew.
That sounds fantastic.
Right? So, Gabe had come back from taking the old people back. And, like, so he's helping. Like, he's Johnny on the spot. You know, he's...
boiling water.
He's boiling water. He had been reading through the baby books that apparently, you know... Like, so she's even more, like, indebted to him because he essentially helps her have this baby. And so...
And the baby's fine.
The baby's totally fine. They then make their way from Colorado back to San Francisco.
The rest of this happens all very quickly.
It does. You know? Yeah, the rest of this book is like... There's like... That was the thing. Like, the first 100 pages are like them... This is like a 250-page book. The first 100 pages is them, like, yearning at each other. Like, I felt like... I was like, Jesus, wow. This is like Dr. Zhivago levels of yearning. Mm-hmm. Like, just looking into the snow. You got a bitch named Laura. Like... It's just cold and just people staring. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, once that baby comes, like, they're like, rah, rah, rah. So many things are happening. So they go to San Francisco. When they first get to the house, Gabe's parents show up. She is obviously cagey around parents.
Yeah. Well, you know. Especially she's cagey around rich people in general.
And so, like, his parents are really nice. The mom is great. Like,
she's kind of overbearing, but she's, you know, she's got a good heart.
But she's, like, shoots from the hip with her. She's like, I don't know you, you don't know me. We don't know if we're going to like each other, but, you know, I love my son. And...
This is where she finally, like, finds out about Michael, the dead brother, more, too.
But, she also was so freaked out because she didn't know what Gabe had told them.
Yeah.
Because she, you know, they were talking about, let us see our grandson and this kind of thing. So she has, like, this meltdown, and then he's like, my parents know that this isn't my baby. So... You know, that was another thing that was kind of her dealing with.
I don't know if it's in every state, though, but at least here, if your name is as a father on the birth certificate, you are presumed the father of a child.
Right, but I think it was just like, you know, she didn't want to lie to them and think that it was like their biological... So, anyway, so she starts adjusting to being in this, like rich-ass San Francisco, like, one of those houses, one of the big fancy ones that, like...
Yeah, the Victorians.
That cost millions of dollars, billions of dollars, I'm sure, at this point, with San Francisco real estate. They're getting used to each other. Michael is an artist, so he's always... like, that was the other thing. He's always smoking. He's always disappearing for, like, days at a time, almost, to do art.
But he has not been doing art for a while. Like, he's only just now starting doing art again after his brother's death.
Well, and she was, like, his muse to do faces again. Yes. Because her face is so beautiful.
Yes. My understanding is that artists don't even like painting beautiful people as much because it's, like, a lot harder than painting people who have, like, a recognizable, like, you know. Yeah. Like, how do you describe a person who's very beautiful? They're just very symmetrical and, like, whatever.
Give us the troll face, people.
Yes.
So... she's adjusting to life. She's done the nursery. This baby is the most convenient baby. This baby is always asleep, too. Yes. Michael's spending time with the baby. Or not Michael. I keep wanting to call him Michael.
The baby's name is Michael.
Yeah, the baby's name is Michael.
After the dead brother.
And
it's never mentioned that these people had 2 sons and they named them Michael and Gabriel.
It's hilarious.
Yes, I know, dude.
So they're all just kind of like adjusting to one another. Mm-hmm. She is like, Gabe had told her from the jump that he wants her, but he's not putting the moves on her. So she's like, what's happening here? And, like, finally she confronts him, and he's like,
You just, like, literally had a baby.
You had a baby a month ago out of your vagina. And she's like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. And he's like, it kind of does. She's like, so if I get a doctor's bill, like, clean bill of health? And he's like, yeah, we'll do it for sure. So she basically goes and gets a doctor's note at her 6-week checkup, which she should be, waiting.
That's what happens. Yes, that's the way it goes.
I'm sure she's, like, in her 20s. We don't know how old she is, but, like, she jumps. Like, she gets wet. Like, they talk about how thin she already is again. And, like...
Oh, yeah, she bounces back like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Well, she's probably one of those horsey girls who just...
All
sturdy.
Limbs and, like, yeah. Well, I feel like she's tall and limby. And, I mean, again, she probably is 20. Because if she started modeling as a teen, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, it has, and it has actually been... If you think about it, it's a very compressed timeline. Because she's in this terrible marriage that did not last very long.
Yeah, so they're, they're adjusting to each other. She has these moments with the mother-in-law. They go shopping. There's a shopping spree.
We do love a shopping spree.
And, like, you get Laura, like, adjusting for not being, like, super over the top thanking him and just being like, this is my money now. And, like, so that was nice, too. Like,
but then there's also, like, she meets the gallery owner.
Oh, there's
and who is very bitchy to her. And
a brunette.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bitchy brunette. You can't have 2 women with, like, they can't have the same hair color.
Exactly.
And they can't be the same age and be friends.
Right.
So
yeah, it's literally, like, she does that thing where she senses all of Laura's insecurities and she knows exactly where to drive in the knife.
Yeah. So they eventually do it.
It's hot enough.
It's fine. Yeah, it's some good doing it. Again, that baby is sleeping through it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That baby is fine. So everything is, like, going well. And then, Mrs. Eagleton.
She literally opens the door to, like, go outside to do something, and Mrs. Eagleton walks the fuck in.
Yeah, she just comes into her house. Yeah. And, like, homegirl Laura's like, hey, Laura stands her ground with her, because Laura and the fam all, like, his parents know about this. They all know that they're going to be lawyering up soon.
Yeah.
So she basically was like, Eagleton, get out of my house, or you'll be hearing from our lawyer. Mm-hmm. And so, like, once Mrs. Eagleton leaves, she, like, temporarily panics and is like, I'm going to run away.
She starts packing a suitcase.
Yeah, but then realizes, like, she needs to stand and fight, so...
And also, it's a lot easier to stand and fight in $1 billion house.
Yeah, so she goes to find Gabe to tell him at the gallery, where the bitchy girl is, again, like... being a bitch. Mm-hmm. And Gabe only hears, like, part of it. And this is one of those things where Laura's, like, not telling him shit.
Yeah, I
hate that kind of
I
would be throwing a bitch under the bus so fast.
I'd be like, you know what your fucking gallery manager said to me, your wife?
Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. So they talk to the lawyer, and then she goes and confronts Mrs. Eagleton. Gabe is with her, but she does most of the talking.
Yes. So she has gotten confident enough that she can tell her where to jump off.
Yeah, and it's been, like, it's been a few months, of, like, being with Gabe and this kind of stuff. So she gives her the business. She's also, like, because Mrs. Eagleton is like, well, I'll tell everybody that you were sleeping around and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, if you do that, then how do you know that baby is his?
Exactly. And it's not even your baby. It's like this,
I was like, I like this. So they eventually, like, they square off with Miss Eagleton.
But she doesn't want the baby, like, because she loves the baby or anything. She wants the baby because she's got, like, that, like, rich people possessive, like, I want to have my baby raised by a...
Yeah, so...
somebody without a good last name.
And, like, it's interesting. They leave her, and, like, just I think how it would be realistically, like, they don't hear from her for a couple of days. Yeah. And then, like, finally they find out that she's, like, not pursuing it.
Yeah.
In this time, you find out, like, the dead brother Michael drama, like, that he had died in an accident on the way to see one of Gabe's shows, so Gabe always felt guilty about it. Like, we have to have that little third act, like, bah, 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 drama. But she's like, it's not your fault. Also, the other thing is, like, when she's talking to the lawyer, she like, really tells the lawyer everything that happened. And so Gabe find out, like, how bad the abuse was.
Right, and he did not really conceptualize.
Yeah, and, like, yeah, so, like, because she had, like, I think it's one thing to be, like, I've been abused versus, like, let me tell you about, like, my black eyes and my split
It was more
lip.
like sleeping with the enemy, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, he's kind of coming to terms with that and, like, dealing with, like, you know, feeling bad, like, that he had pushed her into things and wasn't as understanding as he could be. So I liked that part of it. Like, while that's going on and while Gabe's doing his art, and he finally finds out all the mean things that the art gallery owner has said, so he's going to a different art gallery.
Yeah, he's taking all of his paintings back. And
Mary Beth, who is his mom, who by this point is fairly close with Laura, like, comes and sits with Laura and talks about the abuse, and Laura has, like, a breakdown and a breakthrough, you know, talking about how she never really had a mom, and, like, cries on Mary Beth. And then Mary Beth gives her this information about, like, a clinic nearby for abused women, and, like, Laura, that's going to be her new thing.
Right, because, like, the thing is, if you're rich enough, you don't need a job, but obviously Laura needs something to do.
Yes.
So, like, you know, she's going to volunteer at this clinic, and everybody gets their happy ever after, and it is actually very healthy, emotionally healthy, happily ever after.
Well, they start, like, they share their I love yous. The baby starts teething, and it cracked me up because, like, it's the only time this baby has been awake.
This baby is a potted plant.
So the baby is awake, and they're, like, taking turns all night, and, like, the baby finally falls asleep. They both have not been to sleep in, like, 24 hours, and, like, the first thing they're like, hey, you want to do it? I'm like,
no, you don't.
That's the last thing you want to do. But they share their I love yous, and everything ends well for them in this non-fucking Christmas book.
No, Christmas never comes.
Christmas is, like,
it's not even incidental.
We deal with, like, every other month but Christmas, because you're with them for, like, it's a projected amount of time.
Yeah,
you know, like,
but not Christmas.
No, not Christmas.
This is, like, the first big snowfall of the season. It's in, like, October, November.
Yeah.
I guess Christmas happens when in the middle there somewhere. And
I know, but we don't even talk about it.
No.
Like, we don't even fucking talk about Christmas. So.
No, we know all about these people, but we don't know what they got each other for Christmas. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Book of
What
lies.
do you get a really rich to do for Christmas anyway?
I guess she gave him, like, inspiration. Ugh, the worst. All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll do our questions.
After my first few episodes, some of my newfound fans called me a lore master, which was an honor and so epically cool. But the thing is, I desire to be known as the lore master. So, this is the tale of the rise of an epic podcast that critics say is redefining a genre. The tale of a man who decided that his calling in life was to give a future to the past. The saga of Arjun, your lore master. Come dream with me as we go deep into our stories. If you think you've been taken to a battlefield before, I assure you, you're mistaken. So take a deep breath, let it out slowly, put some smoke in the air if you choose, and prepare to let your mind flow to my voice as we go deep. Welcome to Deep into History, available everywhere.
And we are back, and it is time for our questions. So, number one, big dick energy or big dick energy?
I mean, the guy is really grumpy, but it's like that kind of grumpy that you know is just like waiting for you to break it down and all. I know some women are really into that.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of, like, the grumpy one is, like, soft for the sunshine one. Like, I like that trope. So, like, I enjoyed him. I thought he was, like, sort of hot.
He was fine, yeah.
Yeah, he's not one of the most, like, memorable people we've ever had, but, like...
There wasn't a lot to him, no.
Yeah.
But I do like a, let me paint you, evidently. Yeah. I didn't know that, but, like, oh, yeah, that is hot, never mind.
Oh, yeah, the book also ended with, like, he had done this giant-ass portrait of her, and, like, he was like... This will never go on display in my gallery, but I will put it above my fireplace. And so it was like, again, like, hang out, and there's, like, this giant-ass painting of yourself. I think it always reminds me of, oh, God, do you remember the movie The Toy with Richard Pryor, and I think it's Jackie Gleason?
Only vaguely.
And there's, like, a giant portrait in that, so that's what I always think about.
See, like, all these big old southern houses have somebody's Mima back, like, the portrait was painted in, like, in the 60s. They always have one of those.
I just, like, I can't imagine. I don't know. I guess it depends on the portrait. Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't want to have to be, like, staring at my face while I'm just, like, trying to read a book.
Well, especially as you get older and the portrait remains...
I I mean, I guess that too, though. Like, it was like, if I could have a portrait of, like, my ass when it looked the best.
Yeah, right?
I'd be like...
So you don't want a face portrait.
I would
you just want a butt portrait.
I would be bringing people in all the time. But look at it. Look at this ass. Look what it used to look like. You know, so maybe. Yeah. So, again, he was fine. He painted. He was grumpy. He smoked cigarettes. He was very broody.
He wasn't very three-dimensional, though.
He wasn't, like, the most
none
fleshed
of them,
out.
frankly, are. She's just scared, and he's just grumpy and
I
rich.
always have, like, I find that I respond better to books that have, like, a little bit more, like, dialogue.
Yeah.
And that I can kind of pull out who these people are. And this is one of those where it's just, like, them telling you, like, in their, like, their own narration. And I don't know, like, whenever we have one of those, like, I tend not to respond as positively.
There is something extremely intimate about having your portrait done because, like, you can't see it.
Yeah.
And somebody's, like, looking at you, like, extremely closely.
Yeah.
And you know,
And
although
then
she was a model.
Well,
so.
the other thing about him, I do think that I found kind of annoying, was that he kept talking about how fragile she was.
How feminine.
And but it was, like, more
Yes.
so than that, it was just the fragility. Like,
It said the word feminine a weird number of times.
and, like, I noticed fragile, just
Yeah.
how fragile she is. She's so fragile. She's fragile. He didn't want to be rough with her because she was fragile. And I was like, all right, we get it. She's fragile. Like, and also, you're not really giving a lot of credit to this woman who has survived abuse. Like, you know, I don't know. Like,
yeah, honestly, she's tough.
yeah,
That's what she
exactly.
is,
So
you know?
stop treating her like...
You know how much guts it must have taken for her to run?
Stop treating her like I treated Clyde yesterday. Like, Clyde's fragile.
Clyde's fine.
He's like 95 and, 4'5". A gust of wind, like,
adorable.
some pigeons are going to take him away. So,
I was a little worried about my 5-year-old ricocheting around the room. Like, Edgar, you have to be careful. These people are very elderly.
yes.
God. So would you talk shit with or about the heroine? I would feel so bad because she was so
Fragile?
fragile.
I mean, I guess she was fine. Like, again, she's not...
You don't see her in a normal state.
No. Like, I feel like, again, there's not really any personality to these people so much.
Well, because she's in such a stressful situation that you don't see her. I mean, it's hard to say what her her normal personality is.
Yeah.
You know?
And again,
obviously she's very wary. She came up in foster care.
Yeah.
She's not a trusting soul.
I
And
mean,
that's,
I'm sure.
you know,
Yeah. She was fine. She's not one of the ones that I've, like...
I wouldn't go to war for her.
Yeah, but I don't hate her. Like,
No.
she doesn't do any... Like, she never makes, like, the stupid decisions.
Her decisions always make perfect emotional sense.
Yeah, and, like,
Like,
even
I get
when
why
she's...
she was going to run, yeah.
Yeah, even when she's about to make a stupid decision, she decides not to, so...
And, I mean, it makes I understand her stupid decision, yeah.
Okay, are the women in this Virginia Woolf or Phyllis Schlafly?
One, like, half does the other? I don't
Yeah,
know.
pretty much.
Like, the mother-in-law is great, but, like, all the other women are garbage people.
Yeah, you have one, like, other good woman in the book. Like, because, again, you have the brunette squaring off because,
And, like, why does she not even like her? It's not... she just thinks she's bad for her
Because
as an artist.
Well,
I mean...
they emphasize that, like, her and the gallery owner and Gabe aren't, like, doing it.
No, that she's not. It's just that she thinks she's bad for her art.
Like,
for his art.
She's just being a bitch to be a bitch.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. That's the
There's-
kind of female character that I hate in this because...
Yeah, there's no point to it.
No.
There's no, like... There's no reason for her to be like this. She has no motivation to be like this.
It's like they can't figure out how else to make some conflicts. What they do is make an evil woman.
Yeah, and so then you have the evil mother-in-law... Or not mother-in-law, well, former mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But then you have the good mother-in-law. And she was nice, and I mean, they had some really good, frank conversations.
And I wonder if she's from another book or something because she seemed like a more fleshed character than
Even
existed in this book.
But yeah, like, she was great.
Yeah, I liked her. But yeah, there's not a lot of other people in this book, frankly.
Yeah.
So when it comes to consent, is this book more Robin Thicke or Marvin Gaye? He is very careful.
Yeah, they're
with her.
And that's, I mean, I feel like with most Nora Roberts books, you get that. Like, I don't think I've ever read one of hers where it's been, like, remotely questionable.
I mean, obviously in the past with her
Right.
late husband, but no, everything with this guy, like, she always makes the decision to have
Yes.
sex. Yeah, there's absolutely no question.
And he's,
about
like,
it
very
whatsoever.
good about, like, like, even thinking about the sex itself. Like, he's gonna be easy with her. Just, he keeps, like, her... her history in mind when approaching this.
Yeah, he doesn't, like, sneak up on her or nothing because, like,
Yeah.
and she's jumping.
And he's not
She's
even, like, there's no, like, he's not, like, forceful. He's not rough with her at all. All right, how badly are you judging your mama for reading this? Nah, I mean...
Well, and the thing is, I would think, like, oh, a Christmas book. But it's not even a Christmas book.
Not, it's like,
I think more highly of a book that's not a Christmas
this
book.
Is lies. This is lies.
Lies.
This
It's built
lies.
on a scaffolding of lies.
Built on lies. Oh, my God, so upset.
Would Scarlett Johansson be in the movie? It's one of those that's only racist because, like, why is everybody white again?
Oh, my God, everybody's white in this thing.
I mean, they start out in Colorado, but, like, San Francisco is not, you know.
But it's like, there's maybe, like, the other thing is, like, it's so insular, there's, like, 4 people in this book.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's one of those where it's just, like, you have, like, 4 characters, and that's it.
It's neither well-researched nor not well-researched. It's just, like, one of those, like, kind of books that
All right, you're not leaving the house looking like that. So, outfits. There's a shopping spree, and, like, the outfits that you hear about. One, you hear about her outfits in Colorado. She's wearing his shirt.
Which I do think is sexy.
You know, then she goes shopping, and, you know, she's got an eye for lines. That was one of the things. She's got an eye for good lines. But they do go to, like, his gallery opening, and she's wearing, like, this... I felt like it was, like, one of those slip dresses, you know.
Yeah, it mentions that it's, like, an ice queen, like Elsa from Frozen.
It's very, like, light blue, and he was, like, she looked completely different, and he was kind of like, eh. I mean, she looked great, but also it wasn't, like, the woman that he loved. He was like, she's not my angel. That's the other thing. He kept calling her an angel in this.
Oh, yeah, it was weird. It was, like, not as much as that dude talked about ghosts in that Ghost of a Chance book, but
he kept calling her his angel.
But not his Christmas angel.
Yeah, not a Christmas angel, just an angel. But, you know, when she was wearing that dress, he was like, she looks like an ice princess.
To make the title work, I guess, they had to keep saying that. Would your 12-year-old self have dog-eared any pages? The sex in this is weird because it'll go on for pages.
Yeah.
But it's just like in Carved in Stone. It's hot above the waist, but then it dissolves. Like, they're still talking about it. It does not fade to black. Like, it goes on for a long time about how they're doing it. It's just that it's not specific at all.
I feel like my copy, because we had 2 different copies, like, might have been a little bit more, because, like...
I read that one, though. I lost this one for a while. I had to refind it.
I feel like he went downtown. I feel like
there
was some downtown business.
I believe you were right, but I am not entirely sure.
Yeah, for all that it was very, like, soft focus.
Yeah.
Kind of generic.
Like, he's all about the titties, and that's all right, but then everything, like, it's all, like, crashing waves and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of, like, mental fireworks and that sort of thing. There's definitely orgasms, like, she lovingly described.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, the hottest.
It's that weird, like, in-between kind of sex where the 12-year-old me would have been all about it, but then realizing I wasn't fucking learning anything from it.
Now it's like an old-ass woman who's like, I need more.
Where's the dick? I would like some dick.
I need you to tell me that the dick is going here, you know? Like, I need explicit dick description.
I need more and more heroin with every book.
Oh my God, it's so sad,
Yes. What pairs nicely with a dumpster fire?
I guess this would just be champagne, but not like good champagne. Just that kind of like...
The wedding champagne?
Yeah. Like, where you're just like, I'll drink this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to drink it, but I'm not...
This is fine. Yeah. I mean, overall, like, I thought it was a good book. It's not my... You know what it is? It's like... It's very beige.
Yes.
Like...
It would have been the thing that you picked up because you were desperate for something in an airport. And it's like a Jack Reacher book. It goes over and around you and it leaves nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
It was just like, I felt like it was just very bland. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was one of those, like, there were some girls in high school that I knew that were, like, perfectly nice, but, like, utterly forgettable.
Yes.
Like, I felt like it was that. I felt like it was, like, utterly forgettable, that it had no, like, it kind of, like, dash of color, spark of personality or anything. It was just fine.
In a couple months, if you were to quiz me and have me name every book that we've read, I will forget this one.
Yeah, exactly. This will be the one that'll be like, what? Oh.
Wasn't there a not Christmas book? What was it about? I don't know. Like,
and I'll just call it like Christmas of Lies, and I'll be like, it's about a guy named Michael. Like, again, like that tells you how
It's about a woman who was not too upset that she was too pregnant to fly, but was snowed in with a complete stranger who was going to deliver her baby.
Yeah. Again, it shows you how kind of utterly forgettable it is that I can't even remember the guy's name, and his name is on the his name is on the cover, and I keep wanting to call him.
It has It has two hella stupid covers, by the way. The original one, which is says Silhouette in a Moment on it. She's got this she looks like she's gonna stab him. Like he's touching her, and she clearly does not want him to be touching her. And she's wearing a lot more makeup than you would think. Would be a thing.
She was not that made up in the books ever.
And the other one, because she's one of those very natural beauties.
Yes.
But the other one, this is the one that they want you to give your mama for Christmas when you have run out of ideas. And it's a snow globe of a pious, angel in it. And it's got holly. It's a terrible cover, y'all.
Yeah.
It's terrible. The whole thing.
Again, I feel like this was fine. Aside from being a lie, it was just a book that we read.
So, because we wanted to read a Christmas special.
Yeah.
So, I would like to ask you guys to tell us on Twitter or by email or whatever, in time for next year.
Yes.
Name something in our time period that is an actual Christmas book. I don't think that they really were marketing them back then like they do now.
I don't know. I mean...
Because these days, there's always a Christmas special from these authors.
Yeah.
But the Christmas special will be Smith 6.5, James 4. It's 18 different series together because it's the in the middle book. It's one of those crazy Christmas specials on TV when I was a kid that everybody gets their little cameo in.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. So again, it was fun. Let us know if you guys have any ideas for Christmas specials. Don't forget to check out our Patreon. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
And if you would like to see more show notes or anything else, it's www.bodicetipplers.com.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
I'm
that bitch.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But this was our Christmas book.
It was, see?
This was our Christmas book of lies, so, I mean, you don't have to come at me for saying Merry Christmas.
No. We'll do better for Hanukkah with our mini episode.
You kind of came aggressive there.
I'm sorry.
You're kind of like a war on happy holidays person. So, damn. All right. So, Sarah and I fight it out over my Merry Christmas thing. You guys...
I mean, you can also have a Merry Christmas.
We'll see you next time. Bodice Tipplers is part of the Frolic Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcast.